Yo, YouTube. Today I want to discuss why it's easier to sell low-end sports cards than high-end sports cards. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody, to the Dollar Box. Today's topic is discussing why it's easier to sell low-end sports cards than it is high-end sports cards. Not less work, but easier, if that makes sense. But anyway, before we get into that, I wanted to kind of show off some goodies. I went to my local card shop yesterday and picked up a few things. Now, I hear, from other dealers and stuff, oh, you got to buy cases online of sleeves and things like that. I don't really feel like you get a better deal doing that, and I'd rather support my local card shop. So I'll generally pick up my supplies there. He's got really good prices on stuff. And sometimes I pick up cards, and I picked up a bunch, and I want to show you what I picked up and why I picked them up. But anyway, let's start with some supplies. So first thing I needed was some thick card sleeves. So I use these for when I'm shipping multiple cards together. I put a bunch of cards in one sleeve, or obviously for thicker cards. So these are 130 point. I normally buy the Ultra Pro version. They were out of them, and they're the same price on the Beckett ones, so it's fine by me. I actually am pretty much entirely out of these right now in my little supply tin over there, so I'm going to pull out this first pack and have some thicks ready to go, because of course we do have some orders to ship out today. Not a ton yesterday, and I did kind of cheat a little bit. I got a few orders done last night. I packed some up. Everybody was busy in the house, so I decided to get a little bit of work done ahead of time. But anyway, I got 3 packs of those. So for 100 sleeves, it's $1.50. So it's 1.5 cents for those sleeves. So they really don't cost much more than a regular sleeve. And you can fit, 6, 7, 8 cards in it. And then the other thing I bought was I always buy these. It's funny because the individual packs, which are 100 sleeves per pack, are $1. This is a 4-pack of 125 sleeves per pack. And so it's a 500 pack for $4.50. So I end up paying like not even 3/4 of a penny per sleeve. So it's a really, really good deal actually for these. So I usually don't, I don't need any right now. I've got plenty on my immediate stack. So I usually just take out the individual packs because it's easier for me to stack them where I keep my supplies, and then just toss the baggie. But yeah, $4.50 for 500 sleeves. So pretty good deal there. I haven't found a deal better than that really online. So that, and like I said, it gives my LCS some business, which is good. Then my big buy, and I did get a bulk deal on this, so I'll talk about that. And I knew he had these. I had bought some before. I'd sold a couple, so I know that there's market. And just based on the time of year we're coming up to, I really wanted to pick these up. I probably have more of them than I wanted, but they don't come up real often, and I figured they were there. If I could get the right discount, I would just pick them up. So let me just get the rest of these out of here. There's a bunch. Anyway, those seem bulkier than the other ones. Okay, these are the packs. Okay, so I ended up getting these. They were marked at 75 cents a piece. I got them for 25 cents a piece. And what they are is the holiday edition cards from each one of the manufacturers in the mid-90s. And you got Santa on the sleigh there. That has all their brands on the back, right? This is all the different brands. So this is like the header card, right? It has all the brands on it. It says, "We want to wish you a Merry Christmas, NFL fans," whatever. Here's a Fleer Ultra one with Santa taking the snap there. Pretty cool. Got a bunch of those. This one is the Holiday Troy Drive. It's got Troy Aikman on it. Pretty neat. This is one of my favorite ones, the Topps one. So it's got Santa with the 25 jersey on there, kind of busting through the presents. And it says Happy Holidays from Topps. Got a bunch of those. Got a bunch of all of these. I've really got Edge, and he's holding a glass of milk. So kind of a play off of the Got Milk thing that was big back then. And this is from 97 Collector's Edge. Card number is Ho 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 1. Pretty silly there. I don't know if I can get that to focus. Oh, anyway, you get the idea. This one is the Pinnacle one. It's kind of fun. It's got Bledsoe on the front, and I think that's Jim Harbaugh, actually. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh on the front, so that's kind of fun. And the little holiday outfits. What Santa does in the off season. You got Troy Aikman there signing autographs, maybe? I don't know. Even our wrappers are collectible. Ad from Scoreboard. Here's some more Edge. This one's cool. I've sold a couple. Haven't I sold this one? I don't know. There's another Upper Deck one that I've sold, but this is the Upper Deck one from 96. So you kind of got the, I think that's supposed to be like the Giants there, and you got the reindeer and Santa on the sideline. And then on the back it says, "'Twas the day before Christmas." The day after Christmas, excuse me. So kind of fun. Some more Troy Drive, excuse me. Here's another one of the like header cards for all the different licenses. So this is 1996. Well wishes from the National Football League and the trading card licenses. So that's pretty fun. Here's a playoff. Happy Holidays. This is from 95. Here's another one from 95. It's the header card for that one. Holiday wishes from the Football League and the card companies. So I just think these are super cool. Here's a Topps Stadium Club one. It's got the Giants in the background there. And Santa, of course. You got Santa on the back. This one I think is funny. 95 Pinnacle, and it's got Dan Marino, Emmitt Smith. I'm not sure who's the other guy. I'm not even sure who the other guy is, but it's them as like dressed up as Santas. Hut, hut, hut. Instead of ho, 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 of course. Here's another one. Emmett and Drew Bledsoe. Kind of putting cards in the stockings there with Santa. Here's the Upper Deck one that I've sold. This is the Dolphins versus the Bears. Dan Marino, Holiday Wishes. Here's the Pacific Collection from 95. It's got just Santa on the front there and then the sleigh on the back. So yeah, just really cool. And I got tons and tons and tons of these. I paid 25 cents a piece. Like I said, they were marked at 75 cents a piece. So I think I got a really nice discount. Here's another Collector's Edge one. And that is Jeff Blake, and that might be Montana on the other. That's the quarterback over here. So here's one more. This is Topps and the North Pole Flyers. You got Santa there, kind of after the day where he's all sweaty and gross from the North Pole Flyers. There's another Pacific Collection one. Santa checking his list. Yeah, just really, really, really fun stuff. Here's another Collector's. This is from 94. 94 Collector's Edge. I didn't even know they did them that far back. That one's kind of cool. I like that one. The little girl and then all the wishes for holiday wishes here, and then it's wrapped like a present on the back. Pretty cool design. There is a Brett Favre one, and that was something that I, of course, had to have. Oh, this one I like too. This is Chrome. This playoff one with the North Pole, the football game at the North Pole. That's pretty cool. Wishing you all happy holidays. Let me see if I can find the Brett Favre one. Don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but I did get a few of these. They don't look very Farvish on the front. It's just got the little boy, girl, I don't know, little child on the front. Santa kind of as the coach calling the plays there, talking to his little quarterback. And then on the back, you've got the Brett Favre season's greetings. So, yeah, super cool. Then to top all that off, I also got a bunch of these sealed 1995 packs. So you had $4.95 on them. I got them for $2 a piece. I think I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 12 of a dozen of them. So I don't know if I'm gonna open some of those or if I'm gonna list them sealed. I'm thinking I might as well list them sealed since I have I have a bunch of these loose. So I'm thinking I just list those sealed and see if I can get some sealed sets out the door. Make a little bit of money on it. I think this is, see if they're sealed. I can't really open them to ship them though, so I'd have to charge shipping because they're too thick. I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about that. But anyway, I wanted to show you what I picked up from my LCS. I thought that was a fun buy. Appropriate to try to get those listed now. Like I said, I bought one pack previously just to kind of see how they would do, and I'd sold a couple, so I thought, well, let's see if we can pick up something in bulk. I can just list them in quantity. You know, maybe some card trader groups will want to buy a little stack of them or something for their gifts for their fantasy league or something. And I don't know. So I thought it's always good to have some Christmas products in your store, even if you're a card seller. All right, let me get these out of the way so they don't muck up our rest of the video, what we're trying to do in the video here. Let me know what you think of those. Do you think the Christmas cards are kind of cool? Do you think they're kitschy and out of date and no one's going to want them? You know, I don't know. They're actually not that easy to find. I don't see a ton of them. If you do, they're usually listed individually at like $3, $4 a piece. So to get them at a quarter a piece, no shipping, you know, right in bulk. If I saw them in a quarter box, I would have bought them. So it seemed like the appropriate thing to buy at the time. All right, let's get into our topic here, and then we'll take a look at some orders. So what I wanted to talk about was how it's actually easier to sell low-end cards than high-end cards. And again, when I say easier, I don't mean less work, because it's more work, labor work, I would think, selling low-end than high-end. But it does allow you to, I think it's easier to operate a business where you're selling low-end cards and high-end cards. So my first reason why is because low-end cards are more liquid. And what I mean by that is, yes, you can have liquid high-end cards, but your buyer pool is smaller and there aren't as many cards generally. Because if a card is higher end, there's probably not as many in existence. The rarity drives a lot of the price. Whereas if you have, you know, a bunch of Santa Claus cards and there's some demand for Santa Claus cards, you can pick those up in a pretty good bundle and get them sold. Versus if that Santa Claus card was super ultra rare, I got to try to track one down, get it for the right price, find a buyer to purchase it. So, you know, liquidity can be a little bit more of a challenge, I believe. Now, your liquidity on high-end stuff becomes in more chunks versus low-end stuff. You're getting little pieces of, you know, those sales at a time. So that would be one of the bigger differences. Let's do a second reason right away before we get into a sale here. Next one is it's easier to get inventory. And what I mean by that is kind of what I just alluded to, actually. The cards are easier to find. You can get them in more bulk. Sorry, I'm pulling up my sales here. They're easier to find. You can get them in more bulk. It's a little easier to get a discount on them because they're not highly sought after high-end stuff. And there's always inventory available. It's not like let's say you get a card that's a pop 3. You might never see one for 15 years. Versus you have a bunch of common base cards of a player, you'll see those all day long. And you can probably get as many as your heart desires depending on what you want to pay for them. All right, let's do our first sale here. So our first sale is a card from Skybox Metal Universe, one of my favorite products that they brought back out, and this is the Aqua Parallel of Jacob Gonzalez, and that sold for $3. Go ahead and get that one packed up here. And of course that's going to go for 63 cents, just a simple mailing on that one. All right, I did 2 of my topic listings first, so let's do 2 sales. So the next sale is, let's see here, the next one is Gold Label Derek Jeter from 1998, and it sold for $3. Well, $2.99. I was going to say $3, but that is inaccurate. It was $2.99. There it is. All right, so we've got this 1998 Derek Jeter Gold Label, sold for $2.99. Get that one packed up. The next reason why I think selling low-end cards is easier than high-end cards is because of getting discounts on inventory. When you're buying in bulk, that's always going to be your best price. I think if you're buying a single high-end card, it's going to be harder to get some kind of a deal on that. And then when you go to sell it, somebody's going to want a deal on it besides. Most people don't want to pay comps unless it's like a super high-end, super rare, new record-setting type card like Mantle or Honest Wagner or something like that. But anyway, let's say you got, a nice discount box of cards at 25 cents a piece. You like the whole box. There's good stuff in there that you can resell. You can maybe get those down to 10 cents, 5 cents, something like that, and increase your margins pretty easily. And because retail is smaller on low-end cards, you can get full price a lot. So, for example, this Charles Barkley base card, right? I got $2 for this, $1.99. Let's say I paid a quarter for it, just for argument's sake. But the person didn't make an offer or anything. I was asking $2. They paid a flat $2. So I feel like I can get a lot more full price sales. You have to have a lot of them. Quantity is obviously the biggest kicker in selling low end, but I feel like you can get that quantity if you're pricing things well and people are paying your full asking price. Okay, next one is a Gardner Minshew. His little comeback kick this year. We're playing for Anthony Richardson right now, but I've got this purple draft Gardner Minshew. It's not numbered or anything. It's just that purple wave parallel, and that got $2.05. That came out of the big football collection I bought from a viewer for $85, which I made $85 on one of the cards out of that lot. So basically all the cards were free. It's not a bad return on a player who wasn't expected to be anywhere this year. I'll take $2.05 on that. Okay, the next reason why I think it's easier to sell low end than high end is a low capital investment. If you want to buy a high end card to sell it, that's how you want to start, is just buy a card that you could resell. You're going to need a big chunk of capital to do that, versus the low end cards. You can buy $25, $30 worth of cards, have a nice stack of cards, and start getting them listed and getting some sales, getting some money in, reinvesting that into more cards and so forth. So it's a lot easier. It's a lot smaller capital investment for you to be able to start growing. All right, next one is a card that's fed into the algorithm pretty hot lately, so I like that. Sometimes the stuff is really random, but it's a 2021 Rookies and Stars Pat Mahomes, just a base card. Got $4.99 for that base card. So that's a good sale there. I've sold 3 of these now, and I think in the last week. So having quantity of a card is a huge help. It gets that algorithm kicking, pushing people to that card, and hopefully you have a few for a while. and as they keep selling, you're getting your numbers on it. All right, so that's just a single card, so that'll be a 1 ounce stamp. All right, and then the next one is the risk rate. I think it's a lot less risky to sell low-end cards. Couple of reasons. First one being, going back to the last point, in that it's a smaller capital investment. You're not risking a whole lot of money, and generally if you paid 5 cents for a card, not going to be real hard to get 5 cents back out of it. That's not a lot tied up into it. The other reason is you just don't have the non-sellable risk, like where you might have to sit on the card for a while, or let's say it's a card of Ohtani, right? You paid all this big money for a high-end Ohtani card, and now he's hurt, can't play, needs another surgery. Well, that card's going to go down in price. So, you're going to have some loss that you might have to take on that card. You don't really get a lot of that with the low-end stuff. And then also, risk for just the logistics of it, trying to get the card back and forth to somebody. You can ship a 25-cent, 50-cent card without a lot of risk. If one or two of those gets lost, you can simply make a refund on that one. You're not really out much on your own. It's easy to solve that issue, and you can move forward. So for the next sale, I'm actually going to show you two because they're the same, and again, it plays into that algorithm. And it's this 2021 Draft Picks Tom Brady base card. I sold two different buyers, and it just sort of presses my point of, once you sell one, they get pushed forward. I've sold probably 15 or 16 of these, a couple of different bulk orders. Like one was 7, one was 8 or 9, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw some of those on the screen, but yeah, that card has sold really well. Just all of a sudden recently in the last week, I pretty much sold out my entire inventory. I had close to 20 of them. They're all gone. So I need a single stamp for each one of those because it's 2 separate orders, 2 separate buyers. Now, the next reason why I think low-end card selling is easier than high-end card selling is condition of cards. I think it's very important when you're selling the high-end to have things authenticated and the condition, PSA 10s, all that kind of stuff is a bigger deal versus the low-end stuff. As long as you have a card in pretty nice shape at a fair retail price, you can ship it out, and that's it. Doesn't need to be graded. You can have a little bit of wear on a corner. State the condition correctly, of course, in the description, especially if there's something that makes it stand out to be not near mint. But generally, it's not as big of a deal. I saw a lot of cards that are in not very good shape, too. Take a good photo. I list it that way. Put it on, put it on the listing. Hey, bad corners, surface scratch, whatever it is. Lower the price, and you'll find a lot of buyers for cards like that. So speaking of that, I have a vintage card that is not in perfect shape, but it's a lower price card. So this sold for $3.10. This is Wayne Hansen from 55 Bowman. And you can see on the back there, it's got some staining, corners are rounded. You got a little bit of staining down there at the bottom, a little bit up there, but that's all disclosed. It's all in the photos. And this is a buyer that's probably collecting a set or follows a team, whatever the case may be. And condition isn't quite as important, especially if they can get a good price for it. Now, obviously, if this was in perfect condition, I would charge a lot more than $3.10. But that's kind of the point. There are buyers. Just because a card isn't perfect doesn't mean you can't sell it. You don't need to throw those cards away. There are buyers for these cards. And now I use a card saver on these because they're tall. So this is the instance where I use that versus a top load. All right, we've got one more reason why I think it's easier to sell low-end cards versus high-end cards, and that is your buyers are customers, end users, if you want to call them that. So when I sell this Charles Barkley card, it's probably going to somebody who wants the Charles Barkley card. Versus if you're selling high-end stuff, you're probably selling a lot to investors, flippers, things like that. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just think that that's a little bit harder to find. You got to find somebody that sees opportunity in that card, versus all you need is people who collect this card in order to get a sale. And again, they're buying it for themselves, so not as concerned with condition. Is this going to gem? You know, I get messages like that once in a while on cards. You know, hey, if I buy this, is this going to gem if I send it in? Well, if I could guarantee you that, I'd send it in myself. So, but generally, when you're selling cards like this, you're selling to the actual buyer collector, which is who I want to sell cards to. All right, this next order is a Sports Illustrated for kids. So I had bought, I can't remember if I bought these as pages. I think I did, because I kind of remember tearing them out. But anyway, Sebastian Vettel, he's a race car driver. I think he was Formula One. Yeah, Formula One. He's a race car driver out of Germany, I believe. Anyway, this buyer wanted both. I had them listed at $4.99. He offered $4 each to take both of them, which I'm happy to oblige. So we got $8 for these two Sports Illustrated for Kids cards. I don't know that they're going to fit in. Yeah, they're too wide. The way they had these perforated on this card, for some reason, they were so wide on the one side. So they're going to have to go in a card saver as well, because they're going to be too big to fit in a top load. There we go. So we'll tape that up and get that one printed. So yeah, I'm sure there's a million reasons why you should sell high-end. There's definitely reasons, as I've indicated in this video, to sell low-end. So you really just got to find your place and who you want to do business with. I like doing business with the lower-end dealers and the customers. That feels like it's more my place, more comfortable. I feel like the risk is a lot better that way as well. I like to buy and sell mostly players that don't play anymore. So that's a lot easier to do with the low end and still make money, versus, you know, if I buy a Joe Montana PSA 10, there isn't going to be a lot that's going to influence the movement of the price of that card. So to try to get it at the right price and then try to find a buyer and get a premium on it from what I paid is a little bit harder than if I buy a bunch of Joe Montana based stuff at a discount. I can find there's plenty of buyers and collectors of Joe Montana that I can then resell those cards. So that's it for this video. Thanks again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think is good reasons for selling low-end or consequently high-end cards. Subscribe, ring the bell to be notified of future videos, and we'll see you again soon.